All right, well, I think I'll just go ahead and get started. Anybody that kind of jumps in late, they'll be able to watch the recording later on. So thanks for joining us here. Really appreciate it. If we're here for the Florida Spartans training team, and we're kicking off the online training program. And the main reason for this webinar is that we wanted to, just be able to kind of talk about the training program and also, talk about the support that you'll have. It's not going to be a typical type of training program where you just, access some online content and then are expected to follow it on your own. We wanted to create something that, was, interactive, that, we were working together, that this was a shared effort and that you weren't on your own in a solo effort just trying to follow something online. So we want to make sure that we get that message across. All right. So we do have an agenda for today, a number of things that we want to cover, and we are going to leave a little bit of time at the end so that if you have some questions, you'll be able to ask them. Right? So what I wanted to do first was just to start off with some introductions. I wanted to introduce myself. This is Jeff Godin that's speaking, in case you weren't able to tell. There's a couple of ways that you can interact with this system here. Number one, you'll see that up at the top under attendees, you'll see, under active speakers, you'll see my name and you'll see the microphone will be kind of highlighted so that you'll know that that's me speaking. And then when Jason speaks, you'll see his microphone kind of activate. But when we switch back and forth, we'll just kind of like also mention that it's us that's speaking, just so that you know. Also, if you notice up at the top of your toolbar, there is an icon with a person that's holding their hand up. And if you click on that drop down, a number of icons will show up. So number one, you could click on the person raising their hand, and that'll indicate to me that you want to say something. And what I'll do is activate your microphone so that you're able to speak and everybody can hear you. So if you have a question and you would like to ask it, feel free to go ahead and do that. There's also some other icons there where you can, like, if we're speaking too quickly, you can tell us to slow down, or if we happen to say something that's humorous, you can hit the laughter button. So there's those ways to interact. And then also there's a chat window there too. So if you have something quick that you want to ask, you can just type it in the chat window. And again, or you could just, click on the icon, raise your hand, and I'll activate your microphone so that you're able to speak. All right. So I'll just start first. I'll just introduce myself, and then I'll allow Jason to introduce himself, and then I'll just kind of quickly go through the outline, and then we'll dive into the, to the actual presentation. So it's Jeff Godin speaking, and most people just call me Dr. J. It was a moniker that was given to me by Joe DeSena way back when we first started this. So apparently just calling me Jeff wasn't enough. He likes to give people nicknames, so became Dr. J. It's funny, when I went to Philadelphia and I did a workshop there for Spartan SGX, and I introduced myself as Dr. J. They all kind of looked at me funny. If you're not familiar, Dr. J is a more famous basketball player from Philadelphia. So anyway, I'm the head fitness education instructor for Spartan SGX, and I've been with Spartan for over 6 years. I've been with them kind of since the beginning. I met up with Joe DeSena at the Spartan Death Race, and we kind of had this mutual respect for kind of the same philosophy that that we're stronger than we think we are, and we can do more than we think we can. And most people don't really understand that you can really do more than we think we can. Everyone it gets kind of comfortable in their own skin and doesn't really challenge themselves physically as they could or mentally as they could. And doing the Spartan Death Race, I had, met Joe and had participated in that event, and, kind of loved the ideals, and, we kind of became friendly through that event. And then he asked me, he was being reached out by, a number of trainers and coaches, throughout the country that kind of wanted to be able to associate and affiliate with the brand. And he kind of asked me my thought about it, and I, came up with the idea of developing a workshop and a, kind of a certification program. And so, luckily he loved the idea, and from there we started up the Spartan SGX program. So I'm kind of fortunate in that sense that I was the right person at the right place at the right time. My full-time job, though, my day job, is that I'm a full-time professor at Fitchburg State University, and I teach in the exercise and sports science department. And I'm also the head of sports science and exercise performance with athletics. So I also work with the sports teams in the strength and conditioning center. And I've been teaching for just about 18 years now. It's something that I'm passionate about. I love talking about fitness. I love, diving into the why of, why we do certain things. So, as you go through the training program and you have those types of questions and you want to learn a little bit more about your, physiology and anatomy, and you just have like a natural curiosity towards it, if you'd like some more information, feel free to like reach out to me and, tag me so that, I can help provide that. I think, one of the things I would like you to get out of this program is not that it's just a training program, because there's millions of them out there. I want it to be something that's like educational. The way that we kind of set it up is that it's not just a training program, it's more like a curriculum, so that you will also be learning, how to do obstacles. You'll be learning more about fitness, not just following a program. So again, I'm honored, I'm humbled to be here, and I'm really looking forward to, taking you folks through this 30-day program, and looking forward to seeing you at the finish line when you do complete that Spartan race. So I'll turn over the...
Good evening, everyone. This is Jason J. Jason Jacksetic. Jason J, I guess, would be my moniker. Back in the early days, everybody needed to get a name to distinguish for email purposes, and eventually we ran out of names and initials, and I don't know what they're doing now, but call me Jason J. I work for Spartan for the full-time day job as the lifestyle brand manager, making sure that we have our outreach to people who want to use our races and get involved in the lifestyle, the training, the exercising, the nutrition, and making that communication as part of our marketing. Taking the science that Dr. J really built, and the platform of good old exercise science that I personally enjoyed as a triathlete and now as a Spartan racer. And so what makes this program very special is that it's not, we're all 30 days from now we all got a race. We know the exact day, so we're all doing the same thing. So this is the evolving technology, and doing a webinar like this is an interactive tool that allows unlimited possibilities, and I'm very excited to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Also, I want to mention, if you filled out the survey that went out either early this morning or sometime yesterday that asked some questions about your current physical activity and exercise habits, and then it also asked you to do a few fitness assessments. So the folks that had completed that survey and done the the fitness assessments, I did send out an email with like your results and a table for you to compare your results to, so you can kind of set some goals for yourself. If you haven't received that email yet, if you just completed that assessment today, know that it's going to be coming out to you tonight after we're done with this webinar. So you can look for that. And then also in that email, in that document that I sent, it indicates like a level that you could choose when you get to the program, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But so we have 3 different levels within the program. We're basically just calling it, for simplicity purposes, we're calling it the elite, we're calling it the age group, and then we're calling it the open group. So we kind of named them after the heats at the Spartan race. And it's not to indicate that those are the heats that you should participate in. They're really just there to just to kind of separate it, like from an advanced level to more of a middle of the road level into like a beginner level. So just something to keep in mind as we go through it. And again, if you just completed that survey today, I'll be sending where we feel like you would best be able to start. And then once you get into the program, you're able to move up and down, as you see fit. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. Well, let me go to the next slide and just kind of, talk about the things that we plan on covering here today. So first we have we did the introductions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the program, and I'm just going to go through it at a high level. I just want to make sure that, some of the abbreviations that we have and the way that we describe the sets and the reps, that it's kind of clear and you can understand it and are able to follow it. Of course, you do have access to, both Jason and I throughout this training program. So, if there is a question that comes up that you're not certain about something and you want some more information on it, you're able to reach out to us. Right. Also, I want to mention that we have a Facebook group, so you should have received an email with a link to the Facebook group so that you could become part of that. And I think that's really an important part of this program and trying to build that community. We call this a training team, so that because we're working together and we're working towards a common goal, whether we're racing it to be competitive or we're racing it just to get to the finish line, we're all striving for something in that Spartan race. And so we're really a team and we're working together and we want to help each other out. And so the best way to be able to do that is through the Facebook group, so that, even if there's, somebody that posts a question about, certain obstacles or what to eat before the race or what to drink before the race, we're going to cover some of that as we're going to do a follow-up webinar before the race. But there's going to be questions that are going to come out. Feel free to post them there, and everyone should feel free and comfortable to be able to respond to that. One thing I saw with the surveys is that we have a variety of levels of abilities here. We have some people that are first timers, and we have some people that finished 15 Spartan races this year. So we have a lot of experience in the group as well. So everyone should feel free to be able to interact and ask questions and contribute in any way that they feel comfortable contributing. Okay. I also have the email contact here, and so it's basically FloridaSpartans@Spartan.com. So if you're not on Facebook, and not everybody is, and I understand that, and if you have a question, you can feel free to send us an email through that Florida Spartans email, and we will respond to it. Right. So those are some ways that we're able to interact. All right. I'm going to switch my screen and I'm going to kind of go through each of the programs. Now understand, what I'm about to show you is just what I created in a Word document. It's not going to be like the final format that you're going to get in the email, but I just wanted to be able to show you this so that you can kind of understand the format, and when you do get the email, you're just able to hit the ground running. Right, and then we'll leave a little bit of time at the end so that we can answer all your questions, and so that you feel comfortable. And tomorrow morning, when the email is in your box, you're just able to get up and go, so to speak. Right. All right, so basically, what we did was we cycled these workouts through the 30 days. So this first workout, you'll see it, basically 4 different versions of it over the course of the 30 days. So you see it on day 1, you'll see it on day 8, you'll see it on day 15, and you'll see it on day 22. And what'll be different is, we're trying to progress you and make it, a little bit more challenging with each progressive week. So you'll see that, on the screen I have week 2 where I've increased the number of repetitions. Week 3 I've increased the speed, and then on week 4 we're going to increase both the ladder and the speed of the exercise. And so I'll explain what the ladder is to you in a moment. Right, and each workout has a specific focus. So for example, we called this first workout day 1, we called it rig. And what we did was we designed this workout around, trying to build up fitness for any type of movement that's like an overhead traverse, like a rig, right? Could be the monkey bars, it could be the multi-rig, it could be the twister, right? I mean, the technique is going to be a little bit different, but the fitness requirements for each of these obstacles is going to be very similar, right? And so it just so happens that these overhead types of movements require a lot of shoulder mobility and stability, so we really kind of focused on that for this part of the workout. Right, each workout will begin with a dynamic warm-up, and it's usually around 5 minutes. And what you should expect with this dynamic warm-up is, start off slow and progressively build up the speed and the intensity so that by the end of that 5 minutes, you should feel a little bit out of breath, starting to break a sweat a little bit, right? Your metabolism is elevated and you're kind of ready, for the next section of the workout, which is going to be a little bit more vigorous. All right. So the goal of the dynamic warm-up is to really just to prepare you for that more intense, workout. Right, so as part of that dynamic warm-up, I've also included so for example, this is like a shoulder mobility because, that was part of our specific focus. So I have some movements that's specifically targeted towards improving shoulder mobility so that when we get to that obstacle, it's going to reduce the chances of injury and help improve our performance. Right, so you'll see some exercise there, and know that it's not going to we'll have the names of the exercises, but there'll also be a link to videos so that you'll be like, oh, you know what? I don't know what he means by a side-to-side jump rope. You'll be able to click on the link and you'll see that actual exercise. Right, same way with the shoulder mobility. You don't know what up, over, and behind means, so you click on the link, you'll be able to view that movement and, be able to kind of follow it. Now, for a lot of these, you'll see some recommendations that you could use a towel, a dowel, or a band, right? We tried to create this program so that it's something that you could do, just right in your own home, that you didn't have to go to a gym and find weights and, specific equipment to be able to do. We created this so that you'll be able to use things just around the house to help get you fit and prepare you for the race. So, so if you don't have a dowel, you're able to use just a regular towel and perform the same type of a movement. Right? Now, in this particular day, we have our conditioning circuit, and it's called up and down the ladder. Right, and so the way that you will do this workout is, in this case, it's just 1 to 8 repetitions. So you'll do each of these exercises, the front squat, the push-ups, the lateral ape, and the burpees. You'll start with just 1 rep of each. So you do 1 front squat, you'll do 1 push-up, you'll do 1 lateral ape, and then you'll do 1 burpee. And then you'll go all the way back to the beginning, and you'll do 2 front squats, and you'll do 2 push-ups, and you do 2 lateral apes and 2 burpees, and you continue that all the way up to 8 reps of each, and then you'll come back down the ladder. So you'll go 1 through 8, and then you go 8 through 1. And the goal of this workout is to do it. We call this an AMRAP. So AMRAP could mean 2 things. In this case, it means as many rounds as possible in 20 minutes. So you just keep going up and down the ladder until this workout is done. right, until that 20 minutes is up. And what I want you to do is, record the number of rounds that you did. And that way, when you do this workout again, you'll, be able to make a comparison and see those types of improvements. So as much as you can, like document, the exercises that you did, the reps and, the time that you did, etc., so that you can see those types of improvements. Right? And also what would be fun is, as you do these workouts, is to, jump onto Facebook and, make a post, post a picture of you doing the workout, or, comment on the level of challenge that you felt, something, but let's make it fun and engaging. Right? So AMRAP in this case, again, it means as many rounds as possible, like how many times can we do this up and down the ladder. And then in some cases, it might mean as many repetitions as possible in 20, in a given amount of time. But again, in this case, it's as many rounds. All right? And what I did was also I put recover as needed. So like, for example, to be able to do this for an entire 20 minutes, if I'm just starting out, and this is my first day of exercise, this might be pretty exhausting. So take recovery as you need it. If you find yourself getting out of breath and you're unable to, maintain good form and you feel like you're going to injure yourself, take a break, recover, catch your breath, and then dive back into it. But the next time that you do it, try to last a little bit longer before you take a break. If you don't need a break, that's great. But take them as needed is what I'm trying to say, right? And then following each workout, we have some type of a cool down, which is going to involve a series of stretches, all right? And then finally, there's on some of the days, there's going to be an aerobic type of a workout. And so the way we, I envision this is that it's going to be mostly running. Yeah, so the workouts, Chad, I just saw your question. So the workouts will be coming to your mailbox tonight, so that when you get up in the morning, it'll be there. So each day the workout will come out the evening before, so that when you get up, it'll be in your box and you'll be able to hit the ground running. Right? So these aerobic workouts, I intended them to be more of a running type of a workout. But that's if you have a bike and you want to use a bike because running, if you have some type of injury that running 4 days a week is going to be too much, you do have options to use other types of equipment as well. But I think ideally you'd want to be able to do follow this as like a running program. All right, and so this particular workout, it's called a tempo. And so start off with a 5-minute warm-up, right? Which is, just like at the beginning of this workout, just a nice, slow, easy pace, gradually increasing the intensity. And then you're going to do 3 by 4 minutes. So that means you're going to do 3 sets of 4 minutes at an RPE of 7 to 8. So 7, it's based off of a scale of like 1 to 10. So 7 to 8 is a pretty hard intensity. You should feel a little bit fatigued. You should be out of breath. So you'll do 1 set. You'll go run hard on a treadmill or on a track or on the road for 4 minutes. And then you'll take a 2-minute recovery. Okay, at an RPE of 3 or 4. So that should be like easy to moderate. Okay, so again, 1 set will be like 4 minutes hard, followed by 2 minutes of easy to moderate. And then you'll repeat that in an additional 2 times. So you do a total of 3 sets, 4 minutes with 2 minutes of recovery. Right? And then after you've done the 3 sets, there's some time for a cool down. And what we did was we didn't increase the time on this. We didn't increase the sets on this. We want you to increase the speed that you do. So the following week, you're going to do the same time, but you're just going to go at a faster pace. Now, I think if for some of you that are doing the Beast, and I saw on the survey there's a number of you that are doing the Beast, you might actually want to think about increasing some of the sets just to build up a little bit longer distance. Okay, so that would be really specific to people that are doing the beast. If you're doing the sprint, you just need to increase the intensity or the speed. Okay, so far, is there any questions about this? Does this make sense?
It's Jason here. I'm going to jump in real quick, Dr. J, and just say uh, yeah, no. This first week as we're introducing
Go ahead.
concepts
Yep.
and routines, this all involves you needing to figure out your approach to do this. You have gym routines. First off, that these workouts can be done at home and kind of just running out your front door, and that's how I'll be approaching this for the most part over the next 30 days. Our goal with this is to do it just kind of like we're just kind of going through it because I can't wait to hit the course next month, and I really, really, really need to practice my basics. So I use a space like my kitchen or whatever, once I kind of get my feel for the exercise. So this first week you kind of got to practice. You kind of got to read carefully. It's a little bit of a grind, but you're learning the new patterns and the new movements and the new language that is going to allow you week over week to get a lot of confidence and make it happen. So that's kind of why we're doing the emails one at a time, because there's a lot to digest, and something's always better than nothing. So do your best to read, do your best to do as much as you can, but ultimately also don't freak out. We're able to speak to a lot of different abilities because we could just check in with your particular specifics. So. Yeah, Dr. J, great introduction to the first workouts and the formats.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. Yeah, one thing I didn't address was like on this conditioning circuit, like on the front squat, we have the elite, the age group, and the open. And so, in the email that I sent to you folks earlier, that it indicated which group you should kind of assign yourself to. If you're not certain, start with the open, right? And just be comfortable. Like Jason said, just learn the movement. And then in the next one, just challenge yourself a little bit more. But, whatever group I recommended you to, if you're doing the exercise and it feels comfortable and you feel like you can go up a level, feel free to go up. And likewise, if I put you in a group that, it feels too uncomfortable, in a bad way, feel free to scale it down. So we did give you some options to kind of progress it up or to regress it down, based off of your exercise history and kind of what you're comfortable with. So elite is the hardest of these of the movements. The age group is the second hardest, and then the open is kind of like the the neutral. It's it's just the average kind of exercise. Okay, so each workout is kind of designed that way, has elite, age group, and open. All right, let me just go to day 2. And like I said, as these emails come out and you look at it and you're like, no, I'm not sure what I need to do. I'm not following this. Jump on the Facebook. You can post a question there or message through that, or feel free to shoot an email. Okay. All right, and so then day 2, and again, you'll see this workout again, throughout the program, and this one's kind of targeted towards the barbed wire crawl, and this specific focus happens to be on hip mobility and stability, and really focuses on core strength. So again, it has the dynamic warm-up. Again, there'll be video links for you to be able to focus on. And then, we have the hip mobility, right? Some movements intended just to target that. And then the conditioning circuit, this one's going to be a little bit different than the one previous where we did a ladder. This one we're doing 3 sets of the 4 exercises. So what we'll do is we'll go through each exercise 1, do it for 45 seconds, right? And then recover for a minute, and then go back and repeat it, right? So if you're pretty fit, you can just go from one exercise to the next without any rest. However, we do want you to use good technique and good form. So, if you took 5 or 10 seconds in between the exercises to recover a little bit so that you're able to do that, that's okay too, right? But definitely take the recovery at the end of this group so that, what that means is that you'll be able to go back and start, and you'll be relatively fresh and be able to go hard again, right? If you just try to do all 3 sets rather of this group of exercises without any rest, then you'll end up too fatigued and you'll end up slowing down. And we want you to do this a little bit fresh, unfatigued, so that you're able to do it a little bit fast and kind of explosively, really intended to build up some strength too. So a little bit of recovery is good. So you'll go through each exercise for 45 seconds with a little bit of break in between them, and then at the end take a minute off, and then repeat this an additional 2 times. All right, and then we have this second group of exercises. Let's see, it's actually the same group of exercises, but a little. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, so it's the same group of exercises, but same idea. Like, repeat this sequence, take a minute to recover, and then you're going to follow it up with a cool down where we have a series of stretches, right? And then this particular day, we don't have aerobic training. So we're doing aerobic training on 4 days, not every day of the week. The circuit training that we're doing is also aerobic conditioning too, besides muscle endurance, besides strength. So you're getting a lot of benefits there. But we don't think you need to run every day. We don't want you to end up with like overuse injuries from too much running too. So we kind of kept it a little bit moderate in that respect, right? All right, then day 3 is the wall climb. All right, and again, the focus on this is that, like, to build up your fitness, to try to prepare people for the wall climb. So the specific focus on this is explosive power. Like when you get to the wall, like, it's not just a pulling movement. The wall is like really being able to jump high. The higher you can jump, the less that you have to pull. So we want to build up that explosiveness in the leg. So again, we have the dynamic warm-up. We have some hip activation and mobility exercises. This is intended to prepare you for the power circuit that we're about to do. And the way this one works is that you will do 3 groups of 3 sets, of complex training, right? And what complex training is that you do a strength exercise first, and then you follow it up with a power exercise immediately after. Right, and so in group 1, what you do is you do a sumo squat, which is a variation of the squat, and then you follow it up immediately with a plyometric exercise. That's, plyometric is just a fancy term for like jump training. So we're going to do the long jump where you stick the landings. And again, you'll have videos to be able to, look at that and see what that looks like, right? And then you'll recover for 30 seconds. Okay, so you'll do this for 3 sets, and then group 2, the same thing. You're going to do 3 sets. You do the split squat, and then immediately follow it up with a split squat jump. Okay, group 3 is an upper body, so we'll do like a variation of the push-up, and then we'll follow it up with a plyometric push-up. And again, for each of these movements, we have variations within it, so that if you're elite, you can make it more challenging. If you're just getting into Spartan racing, you can do more of the open version of it. Okay, and again, we have the videos to kind of support this so that you're able to see what we mean more than just by reading the words. Okay? And so that's the power part. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, no, and when to take a step back, when you're looking at these list of moves, everybody, and what we're doing in this interval of time each day that you're setting aside to doing your workout, is we're really practicing motions and weight bearing, motions, where, because on race day you're going to confront certain obstacles and certain course conditions that are not every day. That's kind of why we're doing this. This is why it's fun. It's an adventure. When you do these workouts, we're trying to get you to practice these movements, to get comfortable in ways that you're not usually doing them. So try to visualize the obstacles for each workout. I find that really helps me, and making workouts more about quality repetitions in the sense of practicing a movement as opposed to just trying to blast out like numbers. This is not your typical kind of like gruelathon workout where we're going to do 1,000 burpees and it's going to fall apart. It's really try to study the motions, because what's going to happen is when you jump up and start doing the rig, you're going to be all right. You're going to feel a little more comfortable. So this is really a learning activity, and if you're like me, my daily grind, I don't always get to do these movements. So more important than like a big sufferfest of fitness, it's taking time each day over the next month to get familiar with that unfamiliar that is upcoming. So that's a way to think about it. Sorry, Dr. J.
Yeah, no, awesome. Thanks, Jason. I like that perspective. Right. And then the last piece to this is a metabolic circuit. So we're doing some conditioning. We're trying to train energy systems here. So, speaking of gruelathlons, we are doing a Tabata burpee set. And so the way that you do this is it's 8 sets of like 20 seconds as hard as you can with the burpees, followed by 10 seconds of recovery, and you repeat that 8 times. The 4 next to this is just like the 4 minutes that it will take to actually finish that. So it'll be 4 minutes of really difficult, challenging work. But, again, like Jason said, just do the best that you can. If you need to take a break, you take a break. We don't want you to get hurt. We don't want you to get sick from doing it. We just want you to challenge yourselves, do more than you've done before, and with each successive workout, try to do a little bit more. Right? Just keep challenging yourself. Right? And then it's followed up with again a cool down, a series of stretches, to help you cool down. Hey, day 4 focuses on, the rope climb. Okay, and so this one, again, hip mobility. One thing I've realized that having done Spartan races for 6 years and observed people doing Spartan races is there's a few areas that really need to be addressed. One is the shoulder, the other is the hip, and then also the grip strength. So these are really important areas to try to work on. So in the rope climb, we're focused on the hip again. We're doing some grip strength and also some whole body conditioning. So again, we have the dynamic warm up. We have some wrist mobility drills, and then the conditioning circuit. We're doing 3 sets of 7 exercises, 45 seconds each, with 5 to 15 seconds in between each. So we have the group, and we have the hand walkouts, the fingertip beast hold again, and some of this is really focused, targeted on building up some of the grip strength. So we have the 7 exercises that you will go through, 5 to 15 seconds in between each of the exercises, and then at the end of that round of 7 exercises, it's a 1-minute break. Right? After that 1-minute break, you're going to repeat that and do a total of 3 rounds of this 7 exercises. Okay, and again, there'll be links for all of these exercises. You won't have to try to figure these out on your own. You'll be able to click a link and watch those videos. Right, and then the cool down, we have some hip mobility exercises that you'll follow. And then the aerobic training here is more of a steady state workout. That workout that leading up to this is really going to be anaerobic and high intensity. We want you to do some steady state exercise too, kind of at a comfortable pace. So, so what you're going to do is just a 30-minute run, again, on the treadmill, on the road, or on the trails. Actually, I prefer the trails myself. An RPE of 4 to 5. So this should be like a comfortably hard pace. So you shouldn't be out of breath. You should be able to carry on a conversation, but it shouldn't be so easy that you're able to sing a song. All right. So it's like a comfortably hard pace. And the way that it progresses, again, we're not building up the time, we're building up the speed. So the next time that you do it should be just a little bit faster than the previous time. But again, if you're doing the beast, I think you will want to increase the time a little bit on these by at least 5 minutes, for each week. Right, and that will be indicated in the email as well. Right, and then day 5, we focus on the Hercules hoist, working on core power, some metabolic conditioning, same deal with the dynamic warm-up. And this one's structured in a way that we're doing 3 sets of 4 exercises. We're doing each round a little bit longer than the previous workouts. Right, and we're doing some active wrist exercises in between each of the exercises. So, actually trying to build up a little bit of grip strength too in this workout. So, we'll do some V-ups, and then we'll do some exercise for the wrist. Right, we'll do a burpee, and then we'll do some exercise for the wrist. Right, and again, you'll go through this, and we'll do 3 sets of each of these 4 exercises with those active recoveries in between. Okay, cool down. We have some stretches, and again, no aerobic conditioning on this part. All right, and then finally, day 6 is really the last workout day. Day 7 is going to be an active recovery, where it's going to be, also some mental training. So you'll have some more videos to watch. You'll have some more, research to do, to study a little bit about the race and be a student of the race as well. So that'll be day 7. So this will be a final workout. And again, it's just the dynamic warm-up. We do some work for the shoulder girdle and the thoracic spine. The focus is on the bucket carry. We want to build back and arm strength. And in this one, we're doing 4 sets of 5 exercises, 40 seconds each with 15 seconds in between. Okay, so we tried to mix up like the length of the intervals a little bit. We tried to mix up the number of exercises. We certainly tried to be a little bit creative with the selection of exercises so that they were each workout was a little bit different. But I think by once you go through that first week, it's going to be a little bit challenging trying to learn each of these, but with each progressive week, you'll begin to, master it and get better at it and be able to push a little bit harder. Okay, and then the workout on this one is a long, slow distance. So this one is building up in the distance, right? So again, it's a moderate intensity. And again, if you can't run for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, it doesn't have to be a run. It can be a walk, jog type of a workout, right? Or it could just be a complete walk. It's going to be up to you and your level of fitness, but the goal is to just be constantly moving for that entire period of time so that you can build up that aerobic endurance for the race. Right? And then also I should mention that each of these workouts, it's not, when you get the email, it's not just going to be the workout. There's going to be some videos that accompany it that will, be about the obstacles, so that you'll also learn how to do the obstacles a little bit. Kind of see people climbing walls, climbing ropes, going through the rig, so that you can kind of study the technique a little bit and begin to understand it. At least gain some familiarity with the obstacles, so that when you get to one, it's not like something that's totally new to you, especially if this is your first Spartan race. So we're including all of that in the email as well, more than just the workouts. Hey, Jason, is there anything else that you would like to add or share with the folks?
Yeah, I'd like to follow up with you know, your mention of, you know, flexibility of feeling things out instead of, you know, things don't always go as you plan week to week. Schedules shift. Sometimes a workout you got to do a little in the morning and then finish it up at night, or, you know, we get that. And something is always better than nothing. So try not to, like, you know, hit that crazy week where you didn't hit it and then you just give up. You can pop on back the next day. It's all a matter of just coming back to that hour, you know, to work on these skill sets, and having a great time at a race. For me personally, is having the, you know, a little bit of the conditioning I need and the techniques I need to use to have fun on those obstacles instead of being intimidated by them. And so this is that practice time to get in the right headspace. So looking forward to doing this with all of you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. You know, that's kind of all I had to share with the workouts. Now's a good time if you have some questions. I know it was a lot, and I didn't expect you to like memorize all of this. I just wanted you to get a little bit familiar so that when you got the email that you would at least be able to understand what we're talking about, at least on some level, and help eliminate some of the questions that might prevent you from starting the workout. Like if you're planning on doing it first thing in the morning and like you don't understand it, we don't want to delay that. So, you know, so hopefully, you know, this presentation helped prevent that. We're gonna, you know, the emails are actually going to include a little bit more detail as well, so that, you know, we're really, you know, making sure that, you know, it's clear and that you can follow it, and, you know, regardless of your starting level. So hopefully it achieves that. So if you have any questions, you know, if you want to speak on the microphone, just raise your hand or feel free to just type in the chat window. Thank you, Dina.
Great. No, and I just, you know, one another thing too is, you know, it's in more detail, and the thing is, like, if you come across, you know, it says jump rope but you don't have a jump rope, we will go right into saying what you do without it. You know, it's about the motions. There's always a solution, and that's part of why we all love Spartan. You know, go home, and if you got a pillowcase and some gravel, you know, you've always got a solution on having something heavy to make a workout more challenging. And so you could really, the sky's the limit if you're enthusiastic, and really want to apply yourself to this process.
Perfect.
And Facebook,
All right.
everybody, feel free to reach out there, get the conversations going, and you know, start thinking about when in your day you have time to really devote to, because there will be some reading with these emails, and you're going to have to watch some videos, practice it out. You know, just start to adjust your schedules.
Great. Thanks, Jason. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you for joining us on this team. I'm really looking forward to it, and looking to see where you folks end up. So congratulations. And I look forward to seeing you on Facebook and seeing your emails. So, Jason, thank you for your support here today, too. This is great. I'm looking forward to working with you on this all through the 30 days.